Hey guys, Dov here with some more battles from the group stage of the German tournament for Total War Warhammer 2. We're gonna go with the Scaly Boys this time. We're going up against Park Map's Dark Elves, so let's get straight to it. I've got thick Mazdamundi up on Slock here. We've got a cute puppy Carnosaur as well. Star Chamber Guardians, front line of some Skink Cohort, Red Crests, and the Cohort of Sotek, a single Solar Engine, and 2 Skink Chief Bros on foot, 3 Chameleon Skinks as the skirmish force, and that's basically it. For the Dark Elves here, we've got 3 Scourge Runners. This is pre-nerf, so for those of you guys who missed it, in the beta there are actually some nerfs for the Scourge Runner chariots, so I definitely recommend you hop on that beta. This is being played before the beta, though, or not on the beta, I should say. So these are the pre-nerf Scourge Runners with more HP and everything. I believe they also got like a charge bonus nerf. I don't know exactly. I'll have to double check. But anyway, Red Spears, we've got some Elite Infantry, some Blackguard, couple Sisters of Slaughter, and Sisters of Singing Doom Marathi on foot. Going to be leading that infantry force. So yeah, basically straight up, we're just going to be getting in here. Not really too much to it. You can see we're doing some heavy skirmishing with these Scourge Runners. Post-nerf, this would have been enough to probably start to kill some of the unit models, but as it is pre-nerf, they are going to continue to hold up, which is one of the reasons they were nerfed. You can see, though, with this rock kind of forcing the Dark Elves into a bit of an awkward advance here, Mazdamundi is going to get a devastating banishment with multiple units kind of stacked up on top of each other, and a ruination of cities as well. So that was several Elite Infantry units that just got hammered there. Mazdamundi up to 68, 70 kills, going to straight up charge in with the Dread Spears there, get some Skink Infantry support, and the battle is underway properly. Sisters of the Singing Doom come in. Of course, the Blackguard of Nagaron do have immune to psychology, very good leadership and stats, so they'll continue to fight here even after taking that significant hit. But Bunker Buster Mazdamundi coming in heavy here. We've got Harmonic Convergence. Soul Blight going to go down on the Dark Elves side. Over here you can see we get a nice kind of concave with these Skinks. They're able to get kind of surround here, finish off these Dread Spears, then the Sisters of Slaughter and Blackguard going to get tied up by Skinks in melee. We're going to throw the Cohort of Sotek in there. They should do very well against these Blackguard. They get a nice clean charge here. They don't have the best stats, but with their charge bonus active, they've got a decent 23 charge bonus. They can hit reasonably well, get a few little armor-piercing chunks in there. Unfortunately for me, the Skinks I had kind of protecting this flank got run over by Scourge Runners in melee, as to be expected, and I have completely forgotten about my Feral Carnosaur up to this point, so I'm basically playing like 1,500 points down, but I'm considering this massive engagement I got here with Mazdamundi. I'm fine with that, to be honest. I think we're okay in terms of balance of power right now. That being said, Mazdamundi is starting to take quite a bit of damage from Marathi and these Blackguard here. Could potentially get enraged as well, so that's not the best situation. Only down to 17 melee attack because of the stacking debuffs there. And the Scourge Runner Chariots are able to do enough damage, and this is what I'm talking about again in terms of the HP nerf. You can see how we just barely started to take down one model out of the 3 units here, despite all of this HP damage. I finally remembered my Carnosaur, though, so Puppy's going to get after it and start to at least tie down these Scourge Runners, keep them from shooting Mazdamundi, which is really the important target here. He's taken a lot of damage, and the Enrage is worn off, so I can start to use Harmonic Convergence and Apotheosis to try and stabilize the situation a bit here. Of course, the Temple Guard's still fighting. The Star Chamber Guardian's giving him that physical resistance, so he is quite tanky. And yeah, with the stat buffs of Harmonic Convergence, he is a very, very strong combatant. You can see the Sisters do get terrified away as well, so the threat of the Enrage is gone. 2 Skink Bros still just continuing to plink away. We've got Chameleon Skinks kind of out in the periphery, tying down these Scourge Runners, shooting them, just being annoying. Again, keeping these peripheral units distracted while the main focus of the engagement stays here in the center. Red Spears, yeah, using the last of our spells here. We had another Ruination of Cities here, and that banishment pretty much triggers army losses as Marathi takes a few big hits from Mazdamundi, and that will be game. So, yeah, pretty fun stuff. Murder Mundi going in there with 192 kills. Yeah, brutal stuff. Kind of the situation, the terrain situation there forced Park Map into that blob a little bit, which is unfortunate. That's something you definitely got to watch out for when you have kind of those locked control groups. Oftentimes, you'll either move past or move like to the side of those choke points or something, and even if you do position your units cleanly at the end, they'll still sometimes, as they're moving to position, kind of get like weirdly bunched up and stuff. So that's something to watch out for, kind of one of those situational type plays that if you have the ability to punish your opponent when that happens, and if they bring a build that's punishable, it's kind of like you have to get like multiple things to line up right in order to get a situation like that. But pretty good stuff, despite me just about forgetting my Carnosaur there. He took a bunch of damage, but the pre-nerf Scourge Runners weren't quite able to really carry the game too hard because the infantry got crumped super hard there. We're able to get some pretty good engagements with the Chameleon Skinks as well. Yeah, pretty fun stuff. I'm just going to go straight into my second match with Park Maps, since that one was a little short, and we'll go for a double cast, since I haven't actually done a lot of double casts or multicasts lately, which I had just realized over the past few days. So let's make this a double cast, shall we? And here we are with Game 2. Since this is being played under the Warhammer Cup rule set, I can do something absolutely degenerate with the menace to society that is this guy right here, Helman Gorst. And we're up against Bretonia, so I've gone with a Pentacart build. We've got 5 Corpse Carts here. One of them is Helman Gorst. We've got a Balefire here to debuff enemy Winds of Magic. We've got an Unholy Lodestone, a Necromancer on a Corpse Cart. He's on a regular Corpse Cart. And another regular Corpse Cart out on the side. 3 units of Skeleton Spears, the Sternsmen. 5 units of Zombies. We've got 2 Blood Knights and 2 Vargolfs. As for the Bretonians, Park Map here are going to be led by Albric. Got some Pegasus Knights and Royal Hippogriff Knights. Peasant mobs there, some men-at-arms. Got a couple Foot Squires as well. A Peasant Bowman, so a Bretonian build, if you will. A Damsel Lore of Life. And yeah, it's going to be decent stuff. The Bretonians here, not a lot of ground cav, but this very heavy air force, obviously. Albric will be giving everybody anti-large, so you can see those hippogriffs do have anti-large. But the funny thing about a build like this is it's actually kind of hard for Bretonia to deal with, just because all of these corpse carts are relatively cheap, but they all have regeneration and are kind of hard for Bretonia to kill. Like, they don't have great tools for killing them very quickly. Most factions can't kill them super quickly unless you have really strong ranged units. But just generally, it's hard for Bretonia to actually kill the corpse carts. And so you think about taking 5 of them with a couple of elite units that they will support very well. And Vargolfs, of course, with their own innate regeneration. One of their main downsides is their low stats, right? So if you pair them with the Unholy Lodestone, regardless, of course, the Vigor Mortis will help, but the Unholy Lodestone gives them additional healing as well, so they really shine in this type of a situation here. And then, of course, the Blood Knights can come in for a rear charge. They're currently hidden here in the woods, and as the Air Force dives down, I'm going to bring them out and bring them in for a rear charge here. Helman Gorst is just tanky enough to survive kind of a gooning attempt like this, because the Corpse Carts also have a lot of mass. They can block up cavalry charges, and just make it hard for your opponent to operate cleanly in a situation like this. Like, you can see how these Pegasus Knights, Hippogriff Knights are all kind of scattered around and not really getting great clean engagements. They're like fighting random skeletons and zombies, and then comes the big rear charge from the Blood Knights. I also popped a massive Overcast Dance Macabre here to hit all of these units to get more melee attack for a big damage spike, and you can see the effect here. These Pegasus Knights, the Royal Hippogriff Knights, even Albric is taking a pretty significant amount of damage here, all things considered. Albric's going to use his Trident Unleashed, try and do some damage. It'll probably do a little bit of friendly leadership damage potentially, but rips through those Blood Knights quite efficiently. I can just immediately respond though with that Invocation of Nehek. Of course, the Unholy Lodestone will be healing. I've got some other passive healing effects as well from the Master of Undeath. So we've got quite a few ways of healing those units back up, including Invocation. You can see I've started to kind of roll up this flank a little bit here. I just have more units able to filter around the side. The secondary corpse cart, or the I don't know what you would even call number 5, quintenary? I don't know. The 5th corpse cart rolling around in the back line here with these peasants and the skeletons and the zombies, pushing away the Bretonians, making sure they can't be in a good supporting position. And then this blob fight is going to continue to grind in my favor. Bretonnians, I mean, maybe if you had like the Fey Enchantress with Grail Guardians, even then I don't think you could necessarily sit in a very perpetual grind fight like this. Really, I mean, nobody grinds like the vampires, let's be honest. And forcing your opponent into a situation like this, while very unchivalrous, as I mentioned, Helmengorst is a menace to society, there's no question about that, and unfortunately, spoiler alert, he doesn't pass away in this replay. Normally, it's my goal to try and at least get Helmengorst killed, even if I still win. I mean, I obviously always want to try and win, but if Helmengorst dies, that is kind of a bonus objective fulfilled. Unfortunately, in this replay, he is going to survive quite healthily until the late game here. As you can see, even Alberic is getting finished off at this point. The Hippogriff Knights, the Pegasus Knights just withering away under this perpetual mud, just draining. I don't even know, just gross. It's filthy, pretty much. It's dirty. This is a dirty thing to do. 5 corpse cards should be banned. Is Gorst actually OP? I don't know. Maybe I just memed a little too hard here, but the Blood Knights and the Vargulfs are absolutely strong units, and supporting them with this many corpse cards, and just, again, all of the corpse cards are still alive and healthy. This White King's still alive and healthy. Just, it's a lot of units that are hard to kill, basically, right? And so you just out-attrition your opponent. It's kind of the thinking there. And it actually kind of works. It works reasonably well. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that. With that, I will be up 3 wins in the group series. So currently we're in a group series. I believe that guarantees I'll move on to the next round. I'll have to double check. I think I need to play one more best of 3 as just part of the series, but I think I have clinched going to the next round with this. I'll have to double check, but I want to say that's the case. But yeah, very well played to Park Map. Hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that one. It was definitely degenerate. I mean, 137 kills from the Mortis Engine effect on Helmengorst. He is a menace to society. And in a build like this, actually can be kind of good. The Vargulf's also doing quite well, getting some chevrons, fighting elite air cavalry and Alberic himself. Blood Knights coming in for beautiful rear charges, 129 kills on the Stearnsmen, just lawn-mowering all the peasants. That was pretty good stuff. Royal Hippogriff Knights did manage to get a chevron, 51 kills. The bright spot there, 99 as well. Alberic with some well-placed tridents. Fortunately, just, yeah, not quite enough at the end of the day. As I mentioned, against a build like this, I almost think you would need, like, Fey Enchantress, Gotrek Felix, 2 Grail Guardians, maybe the Companions of Quenelle. You'd have to kind of do some things, but when you take a build like that, then obviously you're making yourself vulnerable to something like a Vampire Air Force, and I don't know, it's kind of an interesting back-and-forth matchup. Some people think that this is potentially Bretonnia favorite, but I actually think Vampire ground forces are very underrated, and you can do a lot of different things with the Vampire counts that are hard for Bretonnia to deal with. So hopefully you guys enjoyed watching that one. If you do like this sort of content, be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification button, so every time I upload a new video, you'll be notified. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you next time.